A debt collector called about a car she had never owned. So she pulled her credit report, and what she found had her sister's fingerprints all over it, years of them. The kicker? She found all of this out right before her sister's wedding. And I promise you, this story gets so much worse. Okay, so two sisters, 4 years apart. And the dynamic from day one? Classic oldest child gets everything situation. The older sister, polished, charming, the family's golden girl. The kind of person whose participation trophies got framed. Genuinely. On the wall. The younger sister figured it out early. Nobody was handing her anything, so she stopped waiting and started building. Quietly, carefully. She monitored her finances like it was her second job, built her credit score point by point, dollar by dollar, and she had a goal. Nothing crazy, nothing glamorous. She just wanted to own her first home, her home, something that was finally, undeniably hers. She was close, like genuinely almost there. And then her phone rang, a debt collector, asking about a car loan for a car she had never in her life purchased. She wasn't panicking yet. Okay, maybe a little. But she figured it was a clerical error, a mix-up, something small and fixable. She pulled her full credit report ready to point at one weird line and get it corrected. What she found instead? I'm sorry, I need a second. What she found was tens of thousands of dollars in debt, credit cards she'd never opened, a car loan tied to her name, store accounts she'd never heard of. Someone had been quietly, methodically using her identity to fund an entire separate life. And that someone was her sister. What? Not a one-time thing, not a moment of desperation where she panicked and made a terrible choice. This was years of deliberate decisions, over and over and over again, using her little sister's name, her little sister's credit, her little sister's future, to pay for her own life. The audacity of that is so enormous I can barely fit it in my brain. So she confronts her, privately. She gave her that grace, went to her directly, kept it between them, didn't blow it up immediately. And what does the older sister do? She cries, of course she does, says she was in a terrible financial place, promises to make it right, and then, this is the part, she begs her not to tell their parents, not to tell her fiancé, because they were engaged, wedding already in the works, everything already planned, and somehow, against literally every instinct she had, the younger sister said, okay, 60 days. She gave her 60 days to start fixing the damage. 60 days. You already know where this is going, don't you? Her sister made one small payment. One. And then she went completely, totally, utterly silent. Stopped answering calls, stopped texting back, just disappeared into her engagement and her wedding planning like none of it had ever happened. And then the wedding invitation arrived. Okay, I need you to really sit with that for a second. She is holding an invitation to celebrate the person who just destroyed her credit score, tanked her dream of owning a home, and then ghosted her when it came time to fix it. This is giving me secondhand rage I did not know I was capable of. She's staring at this invitation. And here's where it gets complicated. Because the credit dispute process legally required her to file a police report. She had no choice. It was part of the process. So she filed one. And suddenly, her sister had a lot to say. The phone that had been dead for weeks started ringing off the hook. Tears, accusations, full-on proclamations that the younger sister was destroying her life. Her life. The one she'd been living on stolen credit. That life. The younger sister thought about her credit score. Thought about the house that was now out of reach. Thought very carefully about what it actually looks like to destroy someone's life. And then She did something that I think about constantly. She went to the wedding, she sat in the back, said nothing, watched her sister walk down the aisle, say her vows, become somebody's wife, held her tongue through the entire ceremony. Every word of it. I don't know if I could have done that. I genuinely don't. The reception. Everything is fine. People are eating, music's playing, glasses are clinking, and then it's toast time. Her sister stands up. She gives this warm, glowing, beautiful speech about chosen family, about people who show up for you, about gratitude and loyalty and love. And then she looks directly across the room and she says out loud in front of everyone that she is grateful for a sibling who has always had her back. I need everyone to pause and acknowledge what just happened. This woman, who stole her sister's identity for years, who decimated her credit, who ghosted her after promising to fix it, who is currently the subject of an active fraud case filed by that same sister, looked that sister in the eye in a room full of people and publicly thanked her for being supportive. Something inside her gave way. She didn't scream. She didn't grab the microphone. She didn't flip a single table, which, honestly, respect, because I would have flipped several. While her sister got pulled away for photos, she walked calmly across the room, found the new husband, pulled him aside, quietly, privately, and told him there was something he needed to know before the honeymoon. She handed him one document, a single-page summary of her credit report, and she told him to ask his new wife about the fraud case that was currently open and ongoing. Then she walked out. The honeymoon never happened. Turns out the new husband had questions. A lot of questions. The kind that don't get sorted out over cocktails at a resort. The kind that apparently don't get sorted out quickly at all. And the family? The family had opinions. Her parents called her vindictive. Her mother, and I want you to really hear this, her mother suggested, with apparent sincerity, that she could have waited until after the honeymoon, out of respect for the woman currently being investigated for identity fraud against her own daughter. That's the timeline of respect we're working with here. A cousin said the timing was cruel, even if the sister deserved it. Her best friend said she had every right to do exactly what she did. And here's the thing that gets me, she cried afterward, more than she expected to. And she said she's still not totally sure who the tears were for, because she's not sure she's the villain here, but she's not fully sure she's the hero either. And that in-between space, that's the most honest place she could be. The fraud case is still open. The financial institutions have been slow. Her credit score has barely moved. The house is still out of reach. Nothing got magically fixed because she told the truth at a wedding reception. But here's what she keeps coming back to. That man was about to legally bind himself to someone with an active fraud case, a case involving the family he was marrying into. Holidays, shared dinners, future kids at the same table. He had a right to know who he was signing his name next to. Her sister had so many chances to give her a better moment. She chose, every single time, not to. So, in the end, she made her own. So, here's where I need you. She sat completely silent through the entire ceremony, watched her sister get married without saying a word. But the second her sister stood up and publicly thanked her for being a supportive sibling, while an active fraud case sat between them, she made her move. Was she wrong for telling the truth at the reception? Drop your verdict in the comments right now. I'm reading every single one because I genuinely cannot decide. And I need you to settle this for me. Next up, a story that made our entire team go completely silent. Nobody said anything for like 30 seconds. You do not want to miss it? Subscribe so you never miss a single drop of drama. Stories shared on this channel are inspired by real experiences posted online. All details have been anonymized and rewritten. Any resemblance to specific individuals is coincidental.